All right, portfolio review. I'm going to start with American Airlines. Nothing new. I put out a signal to buy jets today, so I think that within the next week or two, hopefully we can see some upward movement from the entire sector, um, and then we can get American Airlines above this downtrend line and hopefully back in the green. Next is Apple. Good day today. Good bounce back. Nothing new though. Still holding above 123. Akamai still being patient. Literally zero today, so no net change. Still hoping it can get back into this range area, but if we get a close below 101, I'm out. Amcor, still looking for this breakout. Not a good day today, but still holding above $11.16, so I'm still going to be patient with it. Amazon bounced back today. Nothing really going on, obviously. We've been talking about this since September, but still holding up, so we continue to be patient. Air Products, great bounce back today. Again, hopefully headed toward 300. ARC, really kind of a nothing day, still holding up near the highs. Definitely expecting some sort of a pullback, but again, the trend is still to the upside. Activision, still holding above the range high here. Even though I'm short take two as well, I like the play in general. I mean, it might just hang out until earnings, but worst case scenario for the take two positions, the Activision goes higher. So I'm not going to lose either way, hopefully, unless they diverge. So still a good performer. American Waterworks got to the high end of the range as I was looking for. Now hopefully we can get to this 165 area if it can clear 160 with strength. Next is American Express. Was having a better day. Finished okay. Again, looking for 125 and beyond. But not too bad today. Boeing still hanging out, but I think on a near-term basis, hopefully we can get a move past this downtrend line and above the yearly moving average, and then I still think that there's room to the upside back toward the range high. Next is Bank of America. Nothing new. Financial strong, same theme. We'll see how they all react to earnings. I think they all have earnings within the coming days, weeks, but nothing new here. Best Buy still strong. Inside day today, but I still think this 117 area is the next stop. Is again, all of this assuming the broader equity market continues to hold up, which for now is still an uptrend. Baidu, same thing, super strong. Another example of the strength, Big Lots was having a great week. Gave up everything on the open. By the time the day was closed, it almost closed positive. I mean, so buyers definitely stepped in. So if that's a sign of any continued strength, hopefully 52 is next up. Biogen still holding strong. Still think it wants to get up to this 275, 280 area. BlackRock still strong. I mean, again, earnings. But I mean, even if we see a little bit of a pullback, the trend is higher, and it's a great breakout trade. I'm not going to touch that unless the broader equity market really takes a dive. Baumarin, still looking for it to pick back up toward 86, although I'm losing confidence in it, but we'll see. As long as it holds above 76, I'll be patient, but not looking good for now. BioNTech, down day, but still above the buy area. Gonna continue to be patient with it. I think eventually it gets to 115. Beyond Meat finally starting to pick up. So it's clearing this downtrend line now. Came back into the range. Hopefully can head back up. Oh, this is from the post from earlier this week. Hopefully we can head back up to that 144 area. So happy with these past couple days. Citigroup, financial, same thing, strong. Chubb, same thing. Claravit, holding above this range. Again, hopefully 32 to 33 area. As long as you stay above 29.30. Still a good hold. Canopy Growth, huge day today. Didn't close on the highs, but again, I think we'll get to Tilray later, but the momentum is definitely still to the upside. CompuGen finally bounced back today. Again, didn't close on the highs, but hopefully can head back toward 14. Cincinnati Financial after the good day yesterday, inside day, but again, financials, the trend is to the upside unless something changes. Coop came all the way back. Finally, now it's testing the high end of the range again, so almost back to break even here. I mean, if this breakout holds, I think 380 would be the next stop. Salesforce did open above this level that we talked about and stayed above there all day. It's got to hold this low in order for me to stay involved. But if it does, it can hopefully get back above this more intermediate term range, back into this broader range area. CrowdStrike down day, but super strong. No complaints. Catalent, still strong trend after last week. Down day, but I mean, even if it takes some time, I still think 120 is the next stop. It'd have to really correct hard in order to shake me out. Citrix, still holding at this area of the range, still looking for the 140 area. 126 is the line in the sand. New entry today, Delta Airlines. I'm hoping that earnings gives it a little bit of a boost above this trend line. This continuation of this breakout. Again, we'll get to Jets later, but same basic setup. Looking for continued momentum. Datadog, down day, but bounce back strong. Again, trend still higher. If we can get back to this 111 area. Diane Trace getting back toward the high end of the range. Let's see how it acts these next couple days, but I'm going to continue to hold it. Dexcom was tested today, but I don't like to execute stops unless there's a close on a daily basis below the level, and it held 351 today and bounced well. So as long as it can continue to hold that, I'm hoping it'll get back up to where I bought it, but we'll see how it unfolds. eBay, inside day, nothing, but trend is still strong. Emerging markets, strong still. I mean, I don't expect it to go in a straight line, but it could back and fill a little bit, but the trend is still positive. Edwards Life Sciences bounced back today, still holding the high end of the range. Looking for this breakout. Fastly up a little bit. Going to use 79. This 80 area is the line in the sand. As long as we can stay above there, I'll continue to hold the position. Fortinet. Gave back a chunk today, but I'm not really worried about a bigger reversal unless we get below 140. So I'm still going to play it to the upside. I mean, we have good trade locations, so I'm going to stick with that. This one was not good today. Fortive. But I'll be patient. I still think the breakout is still potentially intact, even though it's given up a lot of those gains I had last week. Let's watch this the next couple of days, but I'm going to continue to hold. FXI, strong. Emerging markets still strong in general, so continue with that play. General Dynamics down day today, but no real selling. I still think this is wants to get back to this 157 area, and I think just buying the airlines today, there is a correlation, obviously, even though their businesses are not 100% related. It's just a general correlation because the entire anything to have to do with planes, so in aerospace. So I'm hoping that that's a sign of tailwinds for general. The airlines going up would be a sign. A good sign for General Dynamics as well, but we'll see. GM, strong. Again, was much stronger and then sold off a lot into the day, but still closed up 2%. It's been a great hold. Going to continue to hold it. See if we can hold this 45 area. I'm happy with GM. Not happy with Global Payments. About to give up all the gains we had from this breakout. I'm not too sure how patient I'm going to be with it. I'm hoping it can clear this downtrend line. If we get below 190, I'm going to cut the position and reevaluate because that would be a failure. But for now, technically, the breakout is still intact. Whole logic, still holding up here. So I'm going to continue to be patient. And see, down day, but not giving up too much of these gains, so I'm going to continue to hold that. Intel, I did a post about this, but this was a great reversal trade back into the range. Got it, became a small loser, but never got below this 43 area. Bounced back strong, and then obviously today a huge gap up. Now they took a lot of it off, but I mean it was still closed up 7%. It's not a small company either, so it's a big move, just on a CEO change. So again, that's kind of the power of patience. Now, as long as we stay above this gap, I'm going to continue to hold Intel. Into it. Still looking for this breakout, but it's kind of just dancing up here. But as long as we stay above 360, I'm going to continue to hold. Illinois Tools Works gave up some today, but I still think it wants to continue to move above this range toward the 220 area. Johnson Controls, strong still. Good breakout trade. Jets sent out the signal today. I think this is going to clear this trend and go higher. Hopefully a strong breakout. Johnson & Johnson still holding the high end of the range here. I'm going to keep its core position. Obviously, this vaccine news is yet to come and earnings and whatnot, but I mean, barring a collapse, I like Johnson & Johnson still. Banks, KRE regionals, strong. Nothing new. KWeb, a little more concerned about this, given the whole political element with China. Who knows what will happen. As I mentioned before, Chinese internet is even more sensitive to that, but it's still holding above the range, so it's still a good position. Li Auto inside day gave back some, but still holding above this range. You'd have to start really breaching 30 to get me concerned. For now, I still think the trend is higher. Did a post about this, Las Vegas Sands. This area is make or break. Currently down on this position, but if we can hold this area and then get back above this downtrend line, let's see what happens with earnings. Obviously, Sheldon Adelson news. This probably has something to do with this recent sell-off, but see if buyers step in. I think they might. They did a little bit today, so we'll see. Lamb Weston, good bounce back today. I think that the breakout is still intact. Masco gave back some today, but again, I think the reversal toward the higher end of the range is still intact. What do we got next? McDonald's, a little bit of a bounce today. It's a slow mover, so I'm not worried about it as long as it doesn't go below 205. Trend is still higher. Matisse, it's giving back a lot this week, but it was a great reversal trade. Now it could be a great breakout trade potentially. So as long as we hold above 100, we continue to be patient with that. Pags breakout still intact. Just holding steady here for about a week. Let's see what happens, but nothing new. Pfizer sent the signal, looking for a broader breakout. Looking for a broader breakout here. See if we can get back this 38 area. Tight stop though, because it seems like there's a lot of space if it closes below 36. So if this is not the turn, then I'll reevaluate, but I think it might be the turn. PayPal, another strong day. Looks like it might clear this area as well. As long as we stay above 225, I'm not even looking at it. Quiagen, QGen, still think it wants 54. Holding over the range here for now, so again, happy with that position. Regeneron, decent day today. It was a much better day. I really think it wants to get back towards 540. Let's see how long it takes, but I think that's the next stop. If not, 470 area would be the line in the sand. ResMed, still looking for higher prices. Hopefully we can get back toward the November highs. It's holding up pretty strong up here. We'd have to get below 200. Ring Central. This short is still on. I still think we'll get some selling. I don't know if we'll get all the way down to the high of this range, but I think we'll get some selling for a couple weeks. The portfolio is not really hedged at all, although I am starting to add a little bit of short exposure. Now maybe that's because of the run we've had. A lot of things are setting up for potential reversals. But this has done nothing, obviously, for a couple weeks now, but I'm still going to stay with it. Rollins, terrible day today. I'm not sure what happened. 4%, but the trend is still higher. And as long as it doesn't close below 37.87, the trend I would expect to continue. Let's see what happens with earnings, but despite the bad day today, I'm going to continue to hold. Seattle Genetics, it's giving back the small gains it recovered, but again, as long as it hangs out here, I'll be patient with it. As long as it doesn't go below 165, I still think the overall macro trend is higher. Shopify, pretty good day today, all considering. It's still holding above this range. Hopefully we can see all-time highs as long as we stay above 1076. We're in business. Snowflake still looking for this bounce back over the range, this intermediate term range, and then hopefully this bigger range back towards this 360 area. 260, 265 would be the line in the sand on the downside. Snapchat, not sure what happened today, gave back all of the gains, but the trend is still positive. So as long as we don't get below this 48 area, the low end of the range here, still have confidence in Snapchat, although the price action today was concerning. Next is S&P Global. This cannot go. If there's a lower close tomorrow, I'll be out of this position. We were looking for the reversal play back into the range. Thought we got it. That trend line failed. So that was encouraging, even though we entered before that break. But yeah, the price action these past 5 days has not been good. So it's going to have a big day tomorrow, or that position will be cut. Spark. Making a comeback. Hopefully we can clear this downtrend line and head back in toward this range here. Patience so far has started paid off. But, now we have that low also as a barometer. As long as we don't go below 160, I still think wants higher prices. Skyworks holding the top end of the range here. Still think the breakout is intact. Next up is TAL-Ed, bounce back today. It's got to hold this area. If we have a close below 65.25, then I'll have to cut this position. Hopefully you can make it to earnings, and then maybe we'll have some upside, or I'll be disappointed. But I have a feeling, given the nature of the company, I think it's like digital education. I mean, you never know with earnings, but honestly, at this point, I'm willing to take the risk. It's a small position, so we'll just see what happens. But it's got to hold this 65 area. Teladoc strong. Still think it wants to get to 240. You'd have to get below 208 for me to get worried. Again, great reversal trade. Oh, great performer today. Tilray. Big breakout, much faster than I even expected. Thankfully, I did buy some that day and sent out the signal that day, because this did not give you a chance. I mean, you had a little bit, I guess, the next day, but this could be gone now. So, I mean, 22 is still a long ways away, but as long as the trend stays intact, you see the type of day it had today, so it can actually get there quite quickly. There's probably a lot of short interest as well. Next is Lending Tree. Inside day today, but after the day yesterday, I'm not complaining. As long as we hold above in the range here, still positive. Tyson, still looking for it to clear 65. It literally is just chopping around for multiple weeks, but I still think as long as it doesn't go below 62, the next move is higher. Train Technologies, reversal trade, looking to clear the top end of this range here. Still hanging out, still positive. Take Two, sold yesterday, rallied today, but actually got sold off toward the end of the day. I still think this could be a little bit of a move lower. We'll see. TWO, holding above the top end of the range here. Still strong, no complaints. Don't know why I own it, but I still do. Twitter, doing nothing. I'm going to use 45 as my line in the sand. Hopefully it can clear this trend line as it's back in the range now. But yeah, obviously everything that's going on is crazy, to say the least. And and the price is definitely taking a hit. But for whatever it's worth, I'm still holding on. I bought a little bit of United Airlines. I didn't send that signal out, but it's the same theme. I think it's a large part of the Jets ETF, so it's essentially the same signal. But tested the highs of the range in December, got rejected, but seems like it's kind of holding up here in this top third. It's definitely above this other range period. So I still think that the overall trend is higher in airlines. I think we've seen the worst post-pandemic. As long as they still exist and as long as the vaccines work, I think there'll be a relief rally and some short covering regardless. So hopefully this is the beginning of that. And same thing for the Jets ETF. Vulcan Materials gave back some today, but I think that breakout is still intact. Vertex gave back a chunk these past 2 days. I thought the coast was clear, but clearly it's not. But as long as we hold above 220, I'm going to continue to play to the upside, but not too confident in these past couple days. Waptec still strong. Trend is still higher, nothing new. New entry from yesterday. Workday was starting off better. Didn't really close fantastic, but I still think I might want to get back toward the high end of the range. Worst case scenario, we're out at 215, 216 area here, right below that line. Another new entry from today that actually closed much better from where the buy signal went out was Western Digital. So not that much better, but got a little bit of a bounce. I think if this breakout is going to hold, it's got to hold this 48 area and then head back towards 52 earnings in a couple weeks. But again, as long as the broader equity market stays up, the underlying trends and moves for these individual equities should at least have some tailwinds. Wells Fargo, same thing, financial strong, going to hold into earnings. Wish, this is an enormous day. Again, didn't have a chance, so you really had the chance to buy that day, and then it was off to the races. Not sure why the stock was up 14% today, but the reason why does not really matter. As long as it doesn't give up this whole day anytime soon, could break above this IPO high and test that 25 area. Weyerhaeuser actually sold calls against the position today. I'm a little bit worried about it coming back down to this 31 area because this rollover is starting to pick up some steam, as you can see in the rate of change. So watching it, but technically as long as it doesn't go below 31, the trend is still higher. Talked about Las Vegas Sands when also had a down day in response, I guess, or in sympathy. But I think if we can clear this downtrend line and hold 103, we can get back in the green at 113 and potentially 118. And then the sectors, down day for materials, but still strong. Communication services, how to bounce back as long as it can hold above 65. Up, the breakout is still intact. XLE, inside day, trend is still positive. Financials, we've talked about a bunch. Strong. Industrials, inside day, still strong. XPing, holding this range high for now. Again, we had a couple days to buy this, but this could also just continue to be off to the races. I mean, if we can hold this, then 55, 60 potentially. But let's see. X-ray, strong. Actually had a good comeback today. Breakout is definitely still intact. Zimmer Biomet, I think 165 is the next stop. It's a great breakout trade. here. Broke above, kind of hung around. Boom, strong. Happy with that. ZTO, inside day, strong after this big day yesterday. It's kind of gotten to this gap. I mean, unless it really rolls over and crosses 28, I think the next stop is 31. And let me just do the broader indexes. SPYs, just hanging out. And trend is still positive. Because I think Joe Biden is doing some press conference about, or they're releasing their stimulus package or something of that nature. We'll see what happens. But until price tells us something different, the trend is to the upside for all the major indexes. Now Russell is even really hot, so I mean there might be cooling off. It could easily be a 5% correction, but that wouldn't even be. Let's see. You're talking about back down to the 6th. So, and that's 6%, or let's see, from today's close, it's about 5% on the nose. So, you can see a 5% correction, maybe even back down to the weekly pivot would be, it's basically 10% from the highs. So, even a 10% correction at this point, still bullish trend. So, I don't expect this to continue to move in a straight line or any of these stocks, but a lot of the stocks, again, we're trying to purchase on the turns, not at the highs. We're not trying to chase highs. We're trying to purchase on the turns. So while the S&P 500 just holds in here, there could be a lot of rotation. So hopefully some of the ones that haven't been winners become winners, and then just the cycle continues. But even if there's some selling after Thursday on like a sell the news type of thing, depending on what is said tomorrow, I still think the trend is higher.